All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to do something a little bit different today, and frankly, I think it's absolutely fascinating. We are taking a totally unique approach by forensically deconstructing a single, microscopic piece of source material just to reveal the sprawling, hidden mechanics of the entire internet. You know, we use these tiny artifacts hundreds of times a day, literally taking for granted the massive engineering architecture required just to make them work.
And here it is. This is our entire source material for this explainer, a seemingly simple 44-character text string. Now, I guarantee you've likely clicked on something exactly like this or maybe copied and pasted it into a group chat within just the last 24 hours. But what actually happens when you interact with this string? What's the mystery behind what these exact characters do the very millisecond they get clicked? Well, today we are going to find out.
So here's our investigative roadmap. We're going to start with the anatomy of a link, move right into the secure protocol, take a look at YouTube's shortened domain, decode that 11-character ID, and finally uncover the hidden tracking.
Okay, Section 1, Anatomy of a Link. Let's deconstruct this thing. Now, notice how the four distinct, microscopic components of our source URL snap together just like digital Lego blocks. First up, the protocol handles the security. Next, the domain tells your browser its ultimate destination. Then we have the path or ID, and that points to the specific piece of content you want. And finally, sitting quietly way at the end is the query string, which handles tracking and data. To us, it just looks seamless, but structurally, it is highly compartmentalized.
But the truly crucial point here is understanding the timeline. Here is the millisecond-fast mechanical journey your browser actually takes to resolve this specific link into a video player the exact moment you click it. Step 1, your browser reads the protocol to establish a secure, encrypted connection. Step 2, the domain directs your browser across the globe to the correct destination server. Step 3, that server locates the specific video using that 11-character ID. And finally, Step 4, the server quietly logs your tracking parameter data. And the crazy part? All of this happens in the literal blink of an eye.
Moving on to Section 2, the Secure Protocol, or what is essentially the web handshake.
Take a look at these first 8 characters, https://. That little prefix mandates a fully encrypted connection. That S stands for secure, and it acts as a very strict cryptographic baseline. You see, before any actual data about the video you want to watch, or even who you are, is ever exchanged, this prefix forces your browser and the destination server to agree on a secret cryptographic language. Because without those 8 characters initiating this secure handshake, your data could simply be intercepted and read by anyone sitting between your computer and the server. No way we want that, right?
All right, Section 3, YouTube's shortened domain, which is all about being optimized for sharing.
This right here illustrates a really fascinating evolution in web design. Just compare the standard bulky domain format, which is youtube.com/watch?v=, to the sleek u2.b format we have in our source material. This custom shortened domain is heavily optimized for easy sharing. Think back to the era of 140-character limits on social media. You know, every single character was precious real estate. So by creating this specialized domain, the platform saves space while still flawlessly routing you to the exact same massive server farms. It's a total game changer.
Next up, Section 4, the 11-character ID. And this is where we see some pure mathematical brilliance.
11. That is the magic number here, and the math behind it is genuinely staggering. YouTube uses an 11-character base 64 system. So what does that mean? It means for every single one of those 11 slots in the ID, there are 64 possible characters available. We're talking uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and a couple of symbols. If you actually do the math on that, 64 to the power of 11, you get over 73 quintillion possible combinations. Quintillion!
Let's see how this actually builds into our specific link. Notice how this exact sequence, IA0, LA6, XEI4Q, acts almost like a digital social security number. Because of those 73 quintillion combinations we just talked about, this precise string of characters perfectly and uniquely isolates this one single video out of the billions of videos hosted on the entire platform. It essentially guarantees that out of an endless sea of content, your browser retrieves the exact right file, every single time, without fail.
And that brings us to Section 5, Hidden Tracking and Query Parameters. So what is a query parameter anyway? In plain terms, it's essentially a set of key value pairs attached right to the end of a URL. The server uses this to track data, filter content, or receive specific instructions. Basically, it's the part of the link that explicitly tells the server extra details about how you got there, what you're doing, and exactly who sent you.
Let's actually deconstruct the literal query string from our source material. Everything changes the exact moment you see that question mark. That queue acts as a gateway. It initiates the query, telling the server, hey, the destination address is finished and additional instructions are about to follow. Next, we have SI equals, which represents the key, often standing for session ID or source ID. And finally, we have that long string starting with TXGM, which is the value. That is your unique tracking footprint. Really, you can think of this entire sequence as acting like a digital sticky note, slapped onto your back as you walk right through the internet's front door.
I like to call this the invisible passenger. And you might be wondering, why does this matter to you? Well, because this specific SI equals footprint quietly dictates how user sharing habits are tracked all across the web. Think about it. When you copy a link from a mobile app and send it to a friend, that string identifies that you specifically generated that link from your session. When your friend clicks it, the platform's analytics engine logs that a connection exists between you and your friend's viewing habits. It is a remarkably sophisticated, entirely silent web of data collection, and it's woven right into the very fabric of how we share information every single day.
So, as we wrap up our forensic deconstruction of this single 44-character text string, I really want to leave you with a thought. We've seen the security protocols, the street addresses, the massive mathematical identifiers, and those hidden data trackers, all of them living inside a tiny snippet of text that we click without a second thought. So I have to ask, next time you share a link, who else is traveling with it? It's absolutely something to critically examine as you go about your